The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Cali Sportsman, WDC is now on your radio. Coming live from the Bay, hear that way. They talk sports all day, LA. Dropping knowledge, high school, college, trying to score play by play. NFL, NBA, NHL, that's right, you name it. They gon' bring it to you live. Talking sports and entertainment. From the famous and the you name it. Cover all sports from the football field.
TV, I'm your host and moderator. I'm Ferran, aka WDC. I want to thank you for listening in. As always, we have a very spectacular, important show for you right here on Morris Media Live on Mondays at 5. It's not like specific for you.
Pacific.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that one later. Monday at Morris Media Live, 5 o'clock. Make sure you check our social media at Sports Collective Media. Wow, it's just been a lot going on in the community, a lot going on in the sports world, and especially in our men's league. So we're going to start off. This segment is brought to you by PACRim. Ilya, you want to talk about your experience last week?
Nah, I like your experience, really.
You like mine better?
Because you had this old dude, right? I don't want to call him an old dude, but he was like 40-something years playing basketball.
Nick.
You know what I'm saying? Went over, well, he was it the Clippers and the Cavaliers?
Clippers and the Supersonics.
Supersonics, that's what. And when he said the Supersonics,
yeah, I
know we went to 73 right away. Like, nobody even know that to you. You know what I'm saying? After Sean Kemp, it was
right, it was a wrap.
It was a wrap. So, I mean, when GP was here,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But, that was kind of classic, you know what I'm saying? I say, for me, my week, when I was there, the guy I captured was the guy who've already chased the hoop dream, and now he's giving back to the community. He had a son with him, and he was just primarily just looking at, how to help the community through sports. So that was pretty cool. But it's real humble guys. Yeah. I know this whole Taiwan piece was a big thing with PACRim and LABC, and these guys got over there today.
Yeah. I saw the clip that they on the bus. So I happened to be there at PACRim's game of the week at 12 o'clock at Nogales High School, and like I said, it was phenomenal, man. I think I had a tough choice between two player of the games, but we went by the stats. So Nick Sanderson was actually the player of the game. So I got actually some of the video we're going to play of the footage that I shot.
Yeah, I had two players from each team. It was just that the competition level was just so high.
Yeah.
Now he can shoot.
Yeah. Oh, you know Nick?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you want to say about Nick?
A couple leagues with that we play against each other, but like you look at, we got the grave.
Yeah.
Kind of walks gingerly, but when he gets out there, he's popping them.
Yeah, he was popping. 48 years old.
47.
No, 48.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so he was like, I started at 5.
Yeah, like 40.
Like when you tell his story, I was 6 months old.
Right.
My dad came home with the basketball rolled across the carpet, and that's from that point on,
sleet, hail, or snow.
I started dunking at 3.
That's right.
With my Nerf ball.
That's right.
Exactly. Everybody had the Nerf ball on the back of the door. Hey, Fredo, you can run that clip, man. This is the some of the footage I got from PACRim's Game of the Week. Yesterday, September 22nd. You'll see.
been playing for 40, since I started playing when I was 5, so 43 years of hooping.
43 years of hooping.
Yeah.
What was that inspiration, man, 40-something years ago?
Man, more of my family, playing with my brothers. I got 4 big brothers, and my dad was all athletic, so we all played basketball and football, so I had to play one.
How about growing up? High school ball?
Yeah, played high school at Belgium, played college ball at BYU.
Really?
Played overseas for the usual stuff.
Okay, so tell me, what was your chasing hoop dreams?
Like everybody, go to NBA. Go to NBA, try to make some money, play. But I had a couple of workouts to pro teams, back in the Clippers and the Supersonics. That's how old I am.
Oh, yeah, Seattle.
Yeah, so that's how old I am, so I had to try it.
I'm 49, so we know.
Oh, so we good. But, if it doesn't work out, I just like to play. I'll play for free, whatever, no matter.
What brings you to PACRim?
My boy Isaac. I've been playing with him in the league for like the last 4 or 5 years. He asked me to play, so I'm like, gotta get down.
What was the win today? How was that for you today?
It was cool. It was cool. Saw a couple guys I hadn't seen in a while on the other team. And anytime you get a win, you got 2 games, so we win both, that's cool.
So you are player of the game.
Thank you.
So how does that feel?
Hey, I feel good. I got these new shorts.
So what's next?
Take the next game 1 o'clock.
Oh, you better get that one.
Yeah. We got back-to-back games, and then that's it for the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Are Nicholas?
No, Nick.
Nick Inster.
Nick Sanderson.
Nick at night.
Don't have him call in.
So Team Winners League, right? That's know about that group?
PACRim? Or the winners only?
It was called Team. Yeah, their team. The team.
Yeah. They play in a Wednesday league that we play against them.
He recruits heavily, huh? Like he's really trying to build a name for himself.
Yeah.
So you know about most of it because it seems like there's a lot of talent on that, and that's in this league. That team has a lot of talent. So you in the basketball community, I thought maybe you want to kind of say what's going on.
That's just what like nowadays it's like most of the teams I play for. It's like a dude who kind of knows how to hoop, but then he pays for the team, pays for the league fees, and like we just he wants stacked teams. Like, he wants talent.
Right. So because he want to get those W's, get that check. Right. Yeah.
So that's what it's like. The main teams right now, that's what most of them are doing.
What comes to mind, Marcus, when you see this, man? These guys still chasing their hoop dreams.
When I see it, number one, it's inspiring to be able to see that and to see that they can still do it to that degree at this point where, you wouldn't see a lot of people trying to move like that, you know what I mean? But I think it's one of those occasions where if you see something through and through to the end, to you happy, something can be created out of it. Yeah. Now, I get it. The likelihood of, going to the NBA or something might be a little bit different. But a lot of times now I'm starting to see sort of like, ownership is taking over. Like even with the Big Three, I think Byron Scott's got a league that he's working on. The Big Three's with Ice Cube. And just seeing different leagues coming out like that, I'm certain that there's still other opportunities, right? You know what I mean?
You're like part of body transition and mental transition. And, looking at these guys still chasing the fact that they just want to play basketball. Yeah. The commonality in all these guys on the court is not about their physique or height or weight or anything. It's the love of this particular ball.
Right.
So it's like what you do, like body transition and, getting your body to formulate into this particular machine is a mental.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
I think that's the hardest piece because physically at some point your body going to shut down.
Right.
Hands up, I'm out. I'm out the game. I'm out the game. As much as I want to, I'm going to stick to playing pool. Yeah. So,
and for me, the flip side, Marcus, is to show these youth that, like you just said, it's not about getting to the NBA. It's about chasing your dream, whether it's overseas, whether it's in the league, whether, they got opportunity. I got a next clip, Robert Valentine, he was on the losing squad. And he recognized me because we interviewed the guy from the COC, and he coaches on the Drew with the COC. So, Fredo, play that next clip, man. What he says in his clip, man, was like powerful to me because, again, it's another view of just chasing the hoop.
My name is Robert Valentine, assistant to CLC, assistant to Keon Kendrick.
So, give me some background of your basketball history, man.
Basketball, I grew up playing in the Valley. I was Mr. Basketball California in 2006. Went on to play at Ecclesia College, and then from there went and played professionally overseas.
What was that like overseas, man?
Overseas life is fun, man. You get to experience a lot, see different cultures, kind of mingle with the culture a little bit, and kind of let it become a part of you. And then when you come home, you get to experience like missing your culture, and then kind of like intertwining the same cultures together and see how they correlate or how they act together.
Now, we interview high school, all different levels of sports, right? Especially around basketball. What do you want to tell the youth, man? Because all these youth think that the NBA is the only way you could be a professional athlete. You could be one overseas. I mean, what do you want to tell them to chase, man?
In my mind, man, chase your dream and don't let your dream be one-sided. Being a professional and making a ton of money doesn't mean playing in the NBA or playing on the highest stage. There's guys all over the place that make a great living playing basketball all over the world. Also, do your research and know your background. Know your family history. A lot of us are mixed race. A lot of us have, Filipino, Asian blood, Dominican Republic, African, all that type of stuff. So make sure that you get that information so that you can get your passports and you can go play in those countries as a local and not even have to take an import spot.
Man, so tell me, what was your chasing hoop dreams back in the day?
Back in the day, man, as everybody, I wanted to play in the NBA. That dream started to dwindle a little bit. My favorite player was always Allen Iverson, and because I was undersized, I always kind of played like him. Fill up the bucket, didn't pass that much. And at the time, scoring guards weren't around, so NBA shot wasn't really there for me. But I was able to make a living overseas and have fun. Now training the lighter side of basketball, working with a ton of overseas players, working with NBA players, doing NBA pre-drafts and things like that is all like basketball coming full circle for me.
What's the biggest joy you get where you're at right now?
Just helping guys achieve their goals. This year we helped a couple guys get overseas that had never been overseas before, guys that never got a chance to really play, and they finally got their chance this year. So that was big for me. And then seeing my little brother actually get a chance to go overseas in Spain and actually get his dream and get to go out there and see the game and play a little bit and go through his camp experience and try to see if he can get a job. So, I've been blessed this year.
So what's next?
Man, more basketball. It ain't never going to stop. You know how it is. This is 365 grind.
All right, cool. Give me your name and social media one more time.
My name is Robert Valentine. You can catch me on IG at PT_Flash.
Man, cool, man. Thanks for your time.
All right, no doubt, man. Appreciate it.
Because you get all the back noise.
Yeah. It's authentic. So, like I said, he recognized this because his mentor was on the show. But when he said, know your bloodline, because you could use that to get a passport to play in those countries and not be a import.
Import, because you only get so many players get to go out of
right.
So many spots.
So instead of competing for the import spot, check out your position, by your background.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was like the most dopest thing he said in that whole piece.
Very innovative.
Because we've interviewed people that's trying to get that one spot.
And then I, like the guy who just went to Taiwan. My thing Adam was telling him is when you get over there, you got to realize your power. You have an American influence. They have a community issue problem. Kids need something, disease, a cause, or something like that. And when you get over there, wrap yourself around something like that. If you get a decent enough contract, now you embedded politically. Now it's not. They're not trying to send you home, because you had a bad game. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because now they know that your American influence is going to send revenue. So just another angle of just leveraging yourself against the fact that they have to play so competitive with one another. Your roommate might be the guy that has to leave the next day. Yeah. So, and that was just me just thinking out of the box, because I know if I had to be over there, I'd be trying to figure out, okay, I can't put up 30 at night, so, what's making me different than this dude next to me, you know what I'm saying? Well, then like, I have a cause in the community, and I could just be like, okay, I'm going to help build some basketball courts, or do some trainings, or,
open doors.
Yeah, find a school, or who's the locals, anyway, y'all got the message.
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, any comments?
Yeah.
From what you heard?
Just biting off of what you were talking about, just the more you can add value in various ways, you know, because there's always more than one way to add value. And the more you can do that, it's sort of like you have several contact points. So, you know, it's just an easy way to empower people, leave a big impression. And ultimately, the more you're empowering people, you can empower yourself in return. So
that's true, because if you've seen the last 15 years, basketball overseas is just exploding.
Yeah.
It's just growing. Like, look at Marbury.
Over
here, he was kind of rejected. He went over there and this dude got an empire over there.
Yeah, statues like Shaq.
Glowing basketballs.
Yeah. They love him for life. He's
but he was marketable here, you know, when he came out with the shoe. He did his own little shoe for $15 a pair of shoes.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Starberries.
Yeah, he was marketable. And you got to make yourself. I mean, you know, everybody has their thing, and look, but didn't Iverson had a chance to go back in? He just couldn't make that transition back into the game. You know, still spoiled brat.
So shouts out to PACRim for partnering with us to do this game of the week. So we will be out there this coming Sunday again. Just check our social media. I got the Instagram is @ChasingHoopDreams, and also check out the Sports Collective. We post stuff on.
What time we play on Sunday?
I think it's gonna be 12 o'clock again.
Okay.
I think most of the game of the weeks is gonna be at 12.
Getting out there early is good.
So we'll post that lineup. We'll make some create some video edits and stuff for it, and then I'll be back again the following Monday with the.
We got to figure out how we get some people in their crowd, man, because ain't that the part y'all be missing when y'all out there playing?
Yeah,
it's like you look in the stands, it's crickets.
Playoffs and championships.
So we might have to get y'all some experiences or something, like a marching band or something.
Wait, what you want to say?
Like playoffs and championship, you'll get more people out there with 10, 11 on a Sunday. Most people are watching football right now. It's like, man, I ain't trying, you know.
Cool. Before we
Before
take this break, introduce yourself, man. Don't give your story away yet, but just introduce who you are so we can.
My name's Steve Carpenter. I'm 36 years old. Just been hooping since I was 8 or 9, and just love the game.
So you ready to share your story?
Yeah.
All right, cool deal. And you, Marcus, go ahead.
I'm Marcus Cargill, born and raised in the finest city in the nation, Gardena, California.
Hey!
I'll be sharing a little bit more of my story in a minute.
Cool deal. All right, so we're going to take it out. I think as we build this relationship, man, I'm looking forward to expanding.
Taiwan, let's all go to Taiwan.
Man, you should have took that coaching spot, man.
It's tough being me.
My man's got options.
All right, so we got Mother Fitness and actually Marcus are going to be together on a segment coming up shortly. So again, just stay tuned. We got Chasing the Hoop Dream segment. We got Mother Fitness coming up.
Hey, before you take a break, though, you got the fourth down. Promote that. You got Plat du Jour.
So check this out.
You got Desi out there. She's going to do in the Plat du Jour.
So I got so Sports Collective, right? So now that I graduated TV broadcasting school on September 4th, so I'm practicing my editing and filming, right? So all these different segments. So we've been doing Chasing the Hoop Dream since 2016 or something like that. Since he and I have been working together. So then I got the high school CIF that I'm gonna start doing the video and interviews. So I was trying to break down each sport with a title. Yeah. So we got Chasing the Hoop Dream. So I thought about the football. So I don't want to give my idea away, but the flag football. You got cats play flag football in 3 or 4 leagues a week. So I want to go after them. Yeah. So I was thinking, I like mental toughness. Yeah. And so I was thinking, what would be a good title for that segment? So I came up with Fourth Down. What are you thinking about? Each team is thinking something, especially if they're going for fourth down or, so I thought that would be
or just not having a fourth down.
Yeah, like the stress that anxiety of that fourth down play.
3rd and 12.
Right.
4th and 8.
So I'm calling that segment Fourth Down. So there was a ref on the other side that know Ed Blood. Oh. So he saw me, so I happened to go, I was filming on that side of the court. And he was like, oh, you've been here for a while, huh? I was like, yeah, since about 11. And he started talking to me. He was like, you look familiar. I was like, and he saw my Army hat. I was like, military? He was like, nah, Eddie B. I was like, oh, yeah. So Paul refs in OC for the flag football. So he said he got the contract out there.
Boom.
So
plug.
I'm about to
make it happen.
Yeah.
Because this is for a second. The flag football is a different animal. First of all, you're talking about football, right? Let's really think about it carefully. First of all, you're talking about a football mindset. See, you're a spoiled kid. You're a basketball kid. So basketball kids and football kids want to touch. Basketball kids, they cry when they get touched. But they want to touch, too. They want to be partially physical, but not really physical.
Right. On the hip. You just put them on the hip.
If the ref watching. But now you take out the pads, the helmet, right?
Speed.
That's a whole
agility.
Different personality right there.
Absolutely.
Because it's almost you offense, defense every play. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then, so it'd be interesting to see what the semantics is in regards to competitive flag football because it's got to be some fingers going this way. It's like rugby, right?
And then they go put their suit on and go to work the next day.
Yeah, sure.
So my mindset is the same way. Like I said, mental toughness is like they play football for all them years, maybe make it to college or not make it to college, and then not make it to the NFL. You still got that drive. That I call it that identity crisis, right? Because I can relate to that from the military.
Yeah.
Like I still miss it. Been retired 6 years next month. Wow. But that identity gets caught up in that student athlete. You know that life. So you still chase it.
Right.
And I'm like, man, they playing like 3 or 4 leagues a week.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want them backstories.
It's taken real serious.
Yes, seriously. So, all right, Fredo, man, we're going to take this quick break. Shouts out to PACRim again. Just check the social media.
Donnie Dizzo, check your email.
We'll be back right after this break.
We with you, baby. All day we play.
This segment was sponsored by PACRim Sports. Visit PACRimSports.com for more info and listen to their Selective Games live broadcast on Sports Collective Radio. AskIlya.com. Media marketing experts here to help you grow your business into the next level and boost your sales. Visit us to learn more. AskIlya.com.
The Consortium of Health and Military Performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your healthcare. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctt-ggg@usuhs.edu.
Hey, shout us out. What's the count? I'm Ferran Dozier, aka WDC. I'm your producer, director, and host on Sports Collective Media. We got a segment called Chasing Hoop Dreams. If you want to be a guest and share your story, share your Chasing Hoop Dreams, make sure you go to Instagram @Chasing Hoop Dreams and send me a message. If you're playing in the PACRim Basketball League, you're going to see me out there with the cameras and the microphone. I'm looking for your story. I want to know what your Chasing Hoop Dreams is. So make sure you hit me up at Instagram, Chasing Hoop Dreams. Don't forget to shout us out. What's the count?
Take the pain away.
Anyways, welcome back to Sports Collective TV. I'm your host and moderator, Ferran, aka WDC. Again, thanks for listening so far. If you missed the PACRim segment, that will be out on our YouTube page, Sports Collective TV on YouTube. That channel is up and running, so that'll be out there. And we just gonna get right into it, man. Again, just kind of reintroduce yourself, and then we'll get started.
My name's Stephen Carpenter. I grew up in Baldwin Park, California.
You can move up closer if you want. You ain't gotta like
Get up.
Yeah. Lean forward.
He said Baldwin Park, like that's somewhere.
Baldwin Park?
Like you supposed to know that.
You don't know 605? You don't know 605 in the 10?
Yeah, I know where it's Baldwin Park. I had a store over there. The wireless spot, Baldwin Park.
I used to hang out over there in the 90s.
I thought it was all Asian community though.
No, it's El Monte, the next city.
The next city.
They bought like half the city.
Yeah, so you need 2 players per 1 player just to have a 5-on-5. So you 10-on-5 when you go to El Monte, right?
Yep, all day.
So what was Baldwin Park like for you, man?
I mean, it's predominantly Hispanic, you know, so it's like maybe 1 or 2 white kids, 1 or 2 black kids in the town, and like we had just linked up, started hooping at the park every day. That's where we'd meet after school and just do our thing.
Where's your family from, background?
My grandparents are from Ireland, and then my mom and dad were from Tennessee.
No kidding.
So then they moved to California.
We might be related.
We might be.
My last name is Daly, which is Irish, and my father lives in Memphis. We might be related. I'm at to look in the book.
I'm about to hit that Ancestry.com.
You might be able to play. You might be able to play in overseas there.
Some levels.
Your bloodline.
Ireland.
So where did that love for basketball? When did that start?
I started out like a kid playing baseball. My dad, he was a coach and stuff like that, so it was like just baseball. And then one day I was at a barbecue and these kids were like shooting at the hoop. I was like 8 or 9, and then like started shooting. I was like, damn, this is fun, because baseball, you need someone to go take you. You got to hit the ball.
Yeah.
Basketball, you could just go to the court by yourself.
Yeah.
So after that, it was like every day after school, I was staying. Like my teachers would be leaving school, and I'd just be out there shooting. They'd be like, you going home?
Hold on, don't brush over the baseball. Give us some of that baseball. Was that?
My dad was a really good coach. Every day after school, we'd go. He'd hit me ground balls. I had to pitch to him, and then he would throw. So it's like my first couple of years. Like every year I was in baseball, I was like all-star.
What was that like?
It was fun. I liked baseball, but just once you got to basketball, it's just like a faster pace.
Yeah.
Just you can go practice by yourself, and it was just fell in love with the game.
Did you think about playing baseball in high school, or was just basketball?
Yeah, they asked me to be pitcher a few times because I was the quarterback of the high school team. So they asked me to come out for pitcher, but like after basketball and football, like I just needed that like break, because once summer it would begin in spring, but I just wanted that little break, and then once summer came, there was basketball and football again.
When did the football come from?
Just to be able to throw the ball far.
Yeah. What?
So that was just. Played varsity right there at Baldwin Park High School. I was quarterback.
No kidding.
Yeah, I went to CIF a couple years, so that was really fun.
Wait, I got one more. Did you ever get your bell ring in football?
Oh, yeah, I got a concussion.
You got a concussion?
Yeah, I got one time when we were playing, they went to tackle me, and I was holding the ball because I didn't want to fumble, and then they dragged me down. I didn't have nothing to protect them. Boom, my head just hit. I had a headache for maybe a week.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
What you got, man?
I just think my theory still sticks. Fredo, you listening to my theory? I think you probably remember my theory. What I always said, when a kid plays baseball first, their IQ levels are a lot higher on all other sports. And he just mentioned 2 other sports that he plays exceptionally well, but he started off with baseball, running, throwing. I mean, just his throwing. Just the fact that he knew how to throw properly at a young age. His father was a coach.
Yeah.
You couldn't throw no curves when you was young.
You didn't want me to hurt my arm.
Hurt your arm. So he was taught how to throw. Now put a football in his hand, it's still the same mechanics.
Yeah.
It's all muscle memory. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to run, all that, which just helps out in basketball. You know what I'm saying? And then just seeing things. When you see things from a baseball perspective, it changes your whole perspective. Just like when earlier, just not take too much of your story away, but earlier when you were mentioning, depending on who's I'm guarding, now it makes sense to me why he's having that idea, because now he's not looking at it from, I'm going to out-talent you, I'm going to out-Q you. Yeah. So my IQ is, okay, you short, okay, I'm going to take you down low. Yeah. Okay, you want to sit on this side, I'm going to do this. Sense. So he has a strategy, but I'm going to say again, and it's recorded live, you hear that, Mother Fitness, it's because of kids learning how to play baseball as their first sport.
Yeah. Wow.
Could be, yeah. It is a thinking sport. It's just maneuvers, and it teaches you a lot with the hand-eye coordination, because when you first start, my dad, he would pitch to me fast, and he would say, "Don't be scared of the ball."
The fear factors, all that, all that comes along with baseball.
Good instillment.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to stay in the box. If he throwing his heat, you can't just, you ain't gonna even swing. You scared. You know, all those things come to play, man. You know what I'm saying?
So Baldwin Park, three sports. End up with basketball. What happens in high school? What were you chasing in high school?
Just to get to college.
Okay.
And I made varsity my sophomore year. And then, after that, I started running with the wrong crowd and, just getting mixed up in stuff that I shouldn't. So
some girl kissed you on the neck. And never
hey, Fredo,
I was chasing them all, dog.
we got his picture.
I was chasing them all.
Yeah, you got a big kiss on the neck. They never stop. Yeah, life comes with girls, and sometimes
it got me distracted.
Difficult.
Distracted?
Yeah, just because I was hanging around with older dudes that were on the team, so it's like they had cars. We were trying to hit every party, just trying to meet all the girls, you know? And it just threw me off my game.
And then,
I just wasn't practicing. I wasn't just putting in my work, because I'm a firm believer in if you want to be a race car driver, you gotta get out and ride a race car. You can't just look at the TV and watch it. You gotta get out there and put in your work.
Yeah.
So then,
the college didn't fell through, or
no. My senior year, I was doing really good, averaging 22 points a game. And then on senior night, I dislocated my kneecap.
What?
Yeah. No one was even around me. I just went up for a rebound, came down, and my knees over here to the side.
What?
So I was like, oh man.
So definitely mental toughness. What were you dealing with?
Was that a 6-month or 12-month transition?
About 10 months, yeah. Because they had to wait for the swelling to go down for a couple of weeks, and then they could do the surgery.
Dang.
So yeah, but it was senior night, so my dad was there, so it was good. So I got driven to the hospital and just check it out, you know. And I was like, oh man. And then just after that, I kind of gave up on basketball.
Yeah. Where'd your mindset go?
Just I was out of high school at that time, so I was like, all right, what do I do? So I just started working with my dad, because we own our own little car dealership. So I just started working there for the next 4 or 5 years. I didn't even hoop. Just
no hooping at all.
I thought oh man, I'm out. I'm done with hoops, you know.
Any depression, anxiety when you deal with it?
Yeah,
watching it on basketball
my knee
TV?
Was still hurting. So a year later, I went out and I tried to play, and then it buckled again. So I was like, dang man, I might as well just hang it up.
No.
It's gonna be over now. And then I didn't play for about till I was 24 again.
And what happened at that point?
Saw one of my friends, and he was like, hey, you're still hooping? I was like, not really. He's you want to join the league? And I was like,
just go straight into
all right. So then,
not really, but you don't want to go play in the league. Just step it up a notch.
So I went out the first games, probably scored 6 points. You know, just embarrassing to what I'm used to.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, man.
What were you nervous? Or just ginger on the knee?
Ran up the court 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm dying. My lungs are burning. So that next day I went and got a 24-hour pass. I was like, all right, cool. I liked playing. It felt good. But then every day I started hitting 24, and then by the end of the year I was back to 25.
Did you wear a brace, or you just?
I started lifting leg weights, just doing leg presses, and just trying to get it stronger. And haven't had a problem since with it. Everything's been grand.
Beautiful.
No kidding. Anybody got any questions for him? Go ahead.
I mean, that's amazing. What did you find? What was it about joining that team? How did you go from I'm good, join the team and all right, for real, I'm in it, or just I guess him asking? What was it about him asking that made you want to step into it? Do you kind of see it like a divine intervention, or?
Nah, I hooped with him before. He's a real good hooper. So I was like,
Phil over here.
Once you play sports, you think you always got it. You're always I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna kill it.
I know how that feels.
Then reality sets in. Dude, I was dying. I thought I needed an inhaler or something. My lungs were shot. And then, but the love came back, and I was like, oh man, I felt good being around the guys and stuff like that. So that's when I just went to 24, got the pass on. I'm gonna hoop every day.
Much respect, man.
Jeez. So you started hooping, and then what was the chase? What was the chase?
The same dude, he told me about the college in San Bernardino. He's like, hey, they're having tryouts, open runs. You just want to come up, the coach, they're looking for new players and stuff. So I went up there in the first practice. I was doing really good, just scoring on everyone, and then I break my foot in 3 places. We're in a pickup game, and just because the coach, I guess he charges, some dude tries to take a charge when I'm driving on a layup. My foot just snaps, and
was it the same leg?
No, different, just this foot right here.
Okay.
It's almost like a door ding. You always want to be on one side of the car.
I'm like, man. But then later that day, the coach had called me and he liked what I was doing and stuff. And it was during the middle of the year already. So we were just running with them open runs. And then he was like, the next year, like, get ready and like just come back out. Yeah. So that's what I did. I just started training again. And
let me see, Fred. There's one that's got a red shirt on. He was looking young as heck.
What's that? What trophy is that?
Just some league that we had won.
Nice.
Oh, you got a little familiar, huh?
Yeah, I got a little wife and daughter.
Tight. That's tight.
That's great. They all look like y'all belong together.
I think that's in Pasadena at the, I don't know what league that, IBL or something like that.
That's tight. That's tight. So what began the chase? You know, you did the college.
Mm-hmm. That was good. We got to travel all across like pretty much Western United States, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, New Mexico. Like, it was a good experience. You know, made some good friendships off of the team. And then after that, just a lot of people just asking me like, "Oh, you want to join this league? You want to join this league?" And then it's been full go since then.
Just all the leagues.
Like the last 10 years, just pretty much 5-6 nights a week. Like
5 or 6 nights a week, you in the gym?
Yeah, every day was Saturday, and multiple nights. On Thursdays, got like 2 teams. Tuesdays, 2 teams.
You wasn't shooting with me.
Wednesday,
right? You wasn't shooting with the
teams,
gym.
Yeah, just my wife, she's very patient with me.
Yeah.
She's like, man, like
that's what you need.
As long as I take care of stuff at home, like she'll let me hoop at night.
Yeah.
She lets you.
She don't even go to my games no more. She's like, you just play too much. Like, you used to always be at the game and everything. Now that we have a kid, like,
you hitting 40 a night. I've seen that before. When you hit 10, call me.
No, not even championship games no more.
We got championship this game.
Look how his face looks. He's so disappointed.
Championship game against his
team.
So
she's just like, go ahead and get that done.
Ask her. Like, I'm not even gonna ask.
You should ask her. She might say yes.
It's a best 2 out of 3, so it's like she ain't even trying to be there from 6 to like 10. She
with a kid.
With her.
Yeah,
so the kid is taken care of very good. So she's out by 8.
Yeah.
So
today, what is your chasing hoop dreams today?
Actually, I just became a referee last year, high school, California. So I started doing that. I have a plan actually, and like once you have I think 4 or 5 years qualification, you can start qualifying for overseas, like to go over there. So I'm just trying to see where my referee career is going to take me. Yeah, I really enjoyed it this year doing the high school games.
No kidding. That's dope.
So I'm going into my 2nd year this year.
That's dope.
So I'm waiting for that.
So how's it working out with the parents?
In the stands. I just ignore them.
Do you got a good eye? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you one of those referees who just have a personality with the fans? Like you get one, okay, I missed out, and I give you another one, and y'all slow down. So are you just so you do the whole I don't see you? I'm one of them parents, so I just want to know. You don't see me? Oh, okay.
I'll try to reverse it on them. Like, what did you see?
Oh, okay.
So you know what I mean? I'm not gonna answer them like, oh, that's not, like, so what did you see? And then they'll let me know, and then I'll kind of,
okay. Next time I see you.
Yeah. Because they're always like, oh, but what did you see? And then like their demeanor really comes down. Where it's like instead of me clapping back at them, they're like, oh, okay, like, well, I saw this. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like.
You put the water over the fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go. You got his Barry White on.
Put me to sleep.
Whatever.
Hey, man, thank you for coming, man. Anything you want to share? Any social media? You got any clothing brands coming out? Just referee? What you got coming out? Anything like that?
No clothing brands. Just straight hooping.
Just straight hooping.
I'm on Instagram, Hooper-in-Christ, and that's my name on there. Just trying to be a good example on and off the court. Just keeping a good
and I'm
demeanor.
glad you said that. So what's the spirituality, man? What is that?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it all, drugs, women, everything like that, you know, so now that I'm a married man, I got a family, like, I'm trying to lead, like, something that wasn't in my family before, like, it's been divorces and stuff, and I'm just trying to take that to a new level.
Break curses.
Yeah, exactly, so, just...
Stop the cycle.
Teach my daughter what to look for in a man when she goes to get married.
Like I said, this is my last night from the have some pig feet.
some pig feet.
Enjoy it.
And then we're going to bring transition on.
Oh, man.
Enjoy it.
So the people, let's talk about playing for eternity. I know you play in there.
Yeah, I played there like 2 seasons ago, led the league in scoring. scoring.
Oh, really?
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
Don knows.
Hey, Don gonna be emailing that shit. Don, where you at?
Some dude that we played his team in a championship game. I had like 43, and then he actually told me like, "Hey, I'm starting a team over there. You want to hoop?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So then I went back last week, first game. I think 42 points. I don't know.
Something light.
Something like 42
Something light.
something.
It was good. We got the win.
So what's the final score? 120 something?
It was
Sound
84 to 81.
So you had half the points.
You have half the points.
I only took 23 shots, so it's 16 to 23.
Okay, look, now we get into numbers.
I'm efficient.
Everybody got a calculator? You got a calculator for this guy? Jeez.
I don't
It's
know.
not all about scoring. Like, it's just about winning.
Is there a video? You got a video?
10 points.
Okay.
In the win.
I'll put it on.
take
I'll put it on our social media spot.
Wow.
All right, man. Again, man. Thank you for coming
Thank
on the
you,
show,
brother.
man,
It
and
was a
sharing your
pleasure.
story, man. It's very
Good
important.
luck with the whistle, man.
Yeah,
I'm a coach and a parent, so
That's more stressful than the basketball.
Sorry
I
about that.
bet.
Sometimes I'll show up to the gym and they'll be crying. I'm like, man, these parents are going to get in on me. They're about to drop it.
They
Cool
work
deal.
on your patience.
All right, so we're going to take a break because we got Mother Fitness coming up next right here on Sports Collective TV. This is Chasing the Hoop Dreams, brought to you by my man, Ask Gillian and WDC over here, man. So, again, we'll be right back.
Let's
Trying to
go,
decide what's
SC.
the
Let's
count.
go, USC.
AskAlien.com. Media marketing experts here to help you grow your business into the next level and boost your sales. Visit us to learn more. AskAlien.com.
The Consortium of Health and Military Performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your healthcare. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctstudy-ggg@usuhs.edu.
And on that note, welcome back to Sports Collective TV. I'm your host and moderator, Fran, aka WDC. We got Mother Fitness here with Marcus. You've seen Marcus been on the first half of the show, man. Again, thank you for taking time out to come.
Absolutely.
Mother Fitness, you all know you're always welcome. I was just looking at the bio, man. I'm like...
And he shortchanged himself, really.
Right. He hit the bullet
That's because
points.
he's just so busy.
Bullet points.
He just didn't have time to sit down and really write it out. But I told him he could have given an abbreviated version, but he really would abbreviate it.
Let's start with played football and ran track.
There you go.
Okay.
Start with that one. Touch that one.
Okay, well, I'll start off by providing a preface.
Give us the context.
Yeah, some context.
We finna get some big words.
Photosynthesis, pontificate.
Oh my god!
When you proliferate the pontific, I'm good.
Okay, geez.
So long. Long story short. So I grew up in music. So athletics, sports, that was not at all a part of my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So how you have sports and then you have the band playing for the people playing the sports, I was in the band. And so it wasn't until 11th grade that I got into playing sports, started playing football. And I started that around the summertime. Okay. You know, a lot of my friends of mine, they would play football on the streets and all that. And so from there I was like, okay, let me put it together. Yeah. And just from playing then, you know, I enjoyed it. And it was a new experience for me. So from there, moving forward, I wanted to take it to the next step.
Had a set of wheels, son.
You know what I mean?
So you found the track.
Yeah, I think I can do a little something. So from there, joined the organized squad.
Yeah.
And then I got to learn about physics and what happens when you don't get low. You get put on your butt. And I got put on my butt a lot. You know what I mean? So that whole junior year in high school was basically learning the fundamentals of it. Mm-hmm. And, it gave me a new appreciation for the sport, and it made me interested in wanting to play the sport more, play it harder, play it better. You know what I mean? And learning how I can get stronger for it. That's where the weight training came into play, because I ain't trying to get pushed around again.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So when senior year comes by, you know what I mean, I'm giving a little bit of accolades. I'm able to play a little bit more, so I was able to get the most improved player for whatever that's worth, so I'll take it, considering I didn't do too much. And then after that, I went and played or ran track. And that was another thing. I'm like, damn, I wish I would have started this so much earlier. You know what I mean? So I have a great respect for people that have grown up in athletics, because I see so much of your character development can come from physical activity. So a lot of people, they see that physical, but it's so much mentally. And
so that's my question is, so where do you equate your mental toughness from?
I would say the mental toughness is you develop it. There's a...
I'm saying you personally, like, where did yours come from?
Oh, me personally?
Yeah, where yours come from?
Well, I'll say my parents. Yeah. So my dad oftentimes said, don't be half-ass on things, because I was really good at that. And so even still, I got to work on that to this day.
Yeah.
And from there, I guess it developed a habit of, if I'm going to do something, I want to make sure I'm doing it to the best of my ability, or I will continue to work.
What do you think that half-ass is? What do you think it derives from when you search for it?
I'll say just from a young age, just being spoiled.
Yeah.
And, from being spoiled, you don't want to go that hard. It's easy to take the easier route. It takes less energy. It takes less effort to take the easy route. It's easier.
Yeah.
So, when you don't have to put that much effort into something, you are likely not to.
Well, I'm going to recap on something that he just said.
Okay.
And I think a little bit of it is to be somewhat driven. I met Marcus when he was in high school. Okay, he's another young man that I mentored, just like Henry. Henry's
and, my brother, too.
Yeah, Henry and Marcus come from the same cloth of me. Okay, so I'll never forget, this is when I was the fitness director at the Gardena Carson YMCA.
Yep.
Marcus would come, and he had an interest in fitness, and he would come all the time and say to me, you know what, Miss Gwen, when you guys get an opening, do you think that you could hire me? So I'm like, okay, so what department would you like to work in? Well, I want to be in fitness, and I want to be a trainer and all this. And I'm like, whoa. There's more to it than just wanting to do it. We got to get you some certifications going. You got to show me and this and that. So at the time he was coming, I didn't have any openings. But he would check in, like at least every 3 months, and come to me.
Yep.
So one time he came to me, and I did need someone at that time, and I had to seriously take a look, weigh in on, here's the certifications and a person who has all the credentials that I need, and now here's Marcus.
Oh, wow.
So I had to do, and you didn't know that part.
Is a new part.
Okay, so I was like, wow. But it was something about Marcus that I knew that he wanted it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you got to overlook those kind of things, because certifications doesn't always make the person.
Exactly.
Because I was in the business of serving people and making members happy. Mm-hmm. So I had to look at the flip side. Okay, this person is coming heavy credentialed and all of this and this and that. But then they really didn't have a lot of personality. Mm-hmm. But yet they fit what I needed, and I could just throw them on, don't even have to worry about them, just go around, okay, you're self-sufficient, and walk away.
Yeah.
Whereas Marcus, I knew that I would have to put some work in, and at the same time I had staff in place that could help me with that, because, you're the boss and everything. Okay, you sit down, make sure he cool. Okay, these are the things I need you to do. And then you put that all long work in with someone else, But then at the same time, even though he was still smart enough to know, when to hold them and when to fold them, or not. I'm not picking this up from you because I don't think that's right. But I'll take all the other stuff I can pull from you.
What was that like for you during this time, man?
What was that like for me?
Yeah.
It was
I had a female mentor in my sickle cell awareness. So how is that? Because a lot of men got problems with female mentors. So how did you manage that?
I mean, honestly, that took no.
He didn't have that problem.
Yeah,
I never felt that from him.
Yeah.
I've had others that I had that problem with, but him, no.
I would say too.
Excuse me. I think it's how you're raised. You know, if you have a strong mother figure in your house, and you can accept certain things, then you know that I can respect certain things. Because I think I was pretty easy as a boss, really. Yeah. But there's certain things that I needed to get done, and when I wanted them, they knew when I was serious. But for the most part, I didn't have any problems at him. He was great because I was just telling him earlier how proud I was of him and Henry, because they really developed to something much more than I could even have imagined. They developed and became. They took fitness into a level they wanted to go. It's just not like they was following it. They took it to a whole nother level because Marcus is at Equinox.
So what does that all look like now? Great employee, great relationship. What is it you specifically doing where we can get the community understanding who is Marcus and how we can use your
knowledge, expertise.
Preference.
Well, he got a degree in kinesiology.
So I'm slow with my words.
And then we're going to come back to it because it's something that you are certified in that I would like to get to, but you answer Ilya's question first.
Well, as far as people that want to get in contact with me, you can find me pretty easily if you type in Marcus Cargill on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I'm under Cargill Fitness. And under that, you'll see a lot of the content that I try to provide. I try to make fitness simple for people to digest, if you will. Right. You know what I mean? Because
everybody's body's different. And everybody's needs is different.
Absolutely.
And he has some very good informative videos on his page. So it's kind of like fitness for dummies. I kind of like that. You know what I mean? Because he breaks it down like that.
Yeah.
He has patience.
Like how? Like how do you break it down? Like what do you...
Well, say, for example, a lot of times people have a million questions about how they might want to eat better or how they might want to exercise. And a lot of times it's just keeping it simple. You know, okay, what exercise should I start with? What should I do, this and that? Well, can you walk? Okay, yes. All right, let's start walking. All right, now, can you go faster than a walk? Can you jog? Can you run? So forth and so on. So you just start off at the simplest level. And this is the same thing a lot of times. A lot of my time spent at school even was for teaching. And a lot of times you want to develop, at least if you're going to do something like physical education, and I'm sure it moves into other areas too. You start from the simplest building block as possible, so that's something that everybody can do, and then you can progress it accordingly.
But I mean, as you know, people are in gyms, don't really know
what they're doing,
the proper techniques in fitness, or they're not stretching, or they're weightlifting and the guy's lifting way too much weight, not the type reps. So you kind of carry on this to-do list of our better practices,
right?
Yeah,
more or less. Okay.
Absolutely. Exactly. Absolutely. That would be a good way of saying it, Ilya, actually. Yeah. That's exactly what he does. So he might take a body part and tell you how to work that. Okay, we're going to talk about hamstrings today. What's a good way of working out your hamstrings? And he'll kind of break it down. I like that you do that.
Yeah.
Marcus is also over at Equinox over in South Bay. So he's at in one of those high-end gyms. So
water with your name on it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So he's been there. How long you been there?
It'll be 5 years, actually.
Really? That long?
In November. That just shook me to answer that question.
Because they got bought by who? I mean, they bought who?
They've bought out some sports clubs from back in the day.
Yeah.
And so... they've taken over.
But that's a hard arena to stay in and survive.
Yeah. You know, one thing I learned
says a lot that he's still there.
Being in that environment, and I would say this probably goes in any type of business or just in life in general. What I believe is really gave me my success there has not been the knowledge of the fitness knowledge, but developing that emotional intelligence, taking that time to build rapport with people and connect with people. Really get an understanding of...
He knows that life real well.
Exactly.
20-something years of that.
No, but I mean, I thought you would run off with that emotional intelligence.
That EQ.
Yep.
That's different. We don't hear that.
Because for me, that's the way you got to listen.
And that's how
your listening
skills comes in.
Temperament and all the patience.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like you said, as a ref, hey, you respond, don't react. Respond to giving them the question, and they'll rethink what they just barked at you about, and it changes the whole dynamic.
Because it's a learned development. I think a trainer is more or less like a glorified psychologist. Because if you listen to your client, you might be able to figure out what their problem is that's causing them to have issues with eating.
Because when you watch these shows, these eating disorder shows, it's always these influencers. It's always these influencers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I felt a certain kind of way today. And I ate something, right? Like it was ice cream and cake, but it was for someone's celebration. And for that moment, I kind of felt what they could feel if they was depressed. How this food can taste so good. I'm just cheating. And I'm already knowing I ain't gonna eat no more cake for the rest of the week. But they finna go buy a whole nother cake.
Yeah.
You know? And this taste and this emotional intelligence you're talking about, it just takes over.
It does.
And then, because when the guy says he goes. One of the shows, the doctor, the Indian doctor guy, the 600 pound, and she goes, I don't know what happened. He goes, you ate 600 pounds of food. That's it.
Before it's a denial process. Wow. You know what's going on, but all of a sudden you wake up and you have this person laying here that you developed. It wasn't overnight.
Right.
But you know what? What happens to? I think something that's not talked about in fitness is the one that is over fitnessed. All right.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying?
Then you brought up
always talking
a
ones
good
that's
point.
transitioning. But what's just one who's like, oh, I didn't eat my salad, or oh, I didn't drink enough water. They're over.
You're sounding like how a competitor would sound, and they feel like competitors are extreme. Yeah, because the average person will look at them and say, "Are you kidding me right now?" Right. I was like, "I can't eat that," And it's like, ketchup. Wow, if I look like you, I would not. This slice of cake couldn't.
I think that goes back to the emotional intelligence.
I think that goes back to that. Maybe they was the fat kid, and they still see.
Yeah, because remember we had a segment on that.
So
exactly.
You're still dealing with those emotional.
Exactly, it's all psychological.
But you still see the little fat kid in the mirror. You're like, oh man,
body dysmorphia.
Exactly.
I definitely have that myself.
So is that with the people that's in the mindset of like liposuctions and Botox and transformations that are kind of artificial?
Because you keep trying to make the perfect you. And at what level do you stop?
Right. There's a level of self-acceptance. There's a point where you got to accept where you're at. And you got to love yourself where you're at in that present time.
Because they're looking for the acceptance on the outside and not for themselves.
So do you mean my core, this is it?
It don't have to be. But you got to appreciate where it's at right now.
The interesting thing, there are some people, there's some people who need to have a better look at themselves because they're just so okay with themselves, but then you need to do a little bit more with yourself, but they're accepting themselves. Like I've seen women who, let's say for instance, who are overweight, and they have such positive self-esteem about themselves. They just, wow. And you know what, keep that. Let's try to scale back a little bit, and let's make you a little bit more healthier.
Right.
Because I'm not trying to change nothing with you. Yeah. I just want you to be healthy. If you okay with how you look, I'm okay with it too. Right. But let's talk about health. Right. Let's talk about your age and how this relates to the weight that you're carrying right now. And let's take it on to you getting older with that. So it's a lot of ways you can go with this.
Your degree in kinesiology. My daughter is actually going to school for that.
Great.
We have a sickle cell trait foundation. Okay. So I collapsed from trait exertion. So I had rhabdomyolysis. So the whole fitness thing is, mental health. Yeah. What do you want to say about that degree, man?
The degree was kinesiology. Kinesiology is just a very cute word for PE. It's physical education. It's the study of the body and its movements. And a lot of times you can learn about that through playing, which is where the PE comes from. The concentration was on PE teaching. There was a point where I wanted to teach. And through taking that route, after I graduated, got the bachelor's, I was pursuing a master's in curriculum and instruction. But I stopped that and I focused 100% on the personal training. After basically running into the realization of how much politics is in education. Right. And that's another conversation. We can save that, but ultimately I felt as though I had a little more of control over the politics, if you will, through the personal training, and I can affect people a little more effectively.
My last question is, you played football. What was your fourth down in the transition to football? What was going on?
What was my fourth down transitioning into football? I think
or out of football, either way.
Got a bell run. That was it.
So I'm gonna tell you about that. So I definitely got my bell run. To the point that I didn't remember much after I got it run. You know, so I had that concussion for sure. I definitely had that concussion. One other thing that I noticed too is I would end up hurting a lot, just regular pains and strains, but every day. And eventually I developed tendinitis in both knees, and I had tendinitis in this arm, all at the same time. To the point I was walking like a cowboy, you know, and they be walking real stiff because I couldn't bend my knees. That's how stiff I was. And that's what made me want to learn more about, okay, there's something going on with my body. I need to learn how I can heal from these conditions. And moving forward, it just gave me a deeper love and appreciation for personal training, because there's so many people that go through that haven't even done those types of activities or even to that degree, or have, and they want to get out of it. And you can definitely get out of it. There's essentially a solution for every problem.
Well, I mean, this dude is off the chain.
Yeah, I know he is.
So
very much so.
It's the student loans, man. they help me out a lot.
There's so many layers to him. You know, it's like, and then you have that postnatal.
You gotta
okay. We'll have to talk about that another time.
Last social media, anything you want to shout out real quick?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is Marcus Cargill. That's Cargill. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Cargill Fitness. Cargill with 2 L's, please. Thank you very much.
Is your dad in the music industry?
Yes, he is. Mark Cargill, violinist.
No labels or nothing like that, though?
On the label?
On like a label or...
if you
6 o'clock, we gotta go.
Go to Apple Music.
We'll take that.
Mark Cargill. I can write it down.
All right, cool. Hey, shout us out. Thanks for tuning listening to Mother Fitness. Thank you always. You have a great guest. Coming in with us. Stephen, man, thank you for being here with us too, man.
Yeah, that way. They talk sports all day, LA. Dropping knowledge, high school, college, trying to score play by play. NFL, NBA, NHL, that's right, you name it. They gon' bring it to you live. Talking sports and entertainment.